Welcome to ground reaction forces. You'll need a Danda and ideally 4 blocks, but if you don't have 4 blocks, you can use a small bench or a chair as well. So we'll start with bringing some awareness to our feet. So take your Danda on the ground and go ahead and just walk across your Danda. In the ground reaction forces category, some of the work that we're doing here is bringing awareness to, of course, the way in which we absorb load when we jump, but plyometrics is not the same as ground reaction forces. So ground reaction forces comes from Newton's third law, which is every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So with that, start the base of your foot. So with that, you want to consider how different it would feel if you were running across snow versus sand versus concrete versus a jungle floor versus a forest floor, and how your body would absorb that load differently. Switch to the other side. So we just want to bring some awareness and love to our feet since we'll be using them so much today. It's also the push and pull, a controlled ascent and descent, how you can move down into a squat and up from a squat, how high you can jump, how light you can land, how much you can push, how much you can pull. So again, it's those oppositions, those opposite actions and forces. But today we are focusing a little more on the plyometric skills of jumping, because in yoga we don't get a lot of that kind of load, and it's essential for our bone health, for our joint health, and also for our brain. Grab your Danda, come on up, and we'll start with some Danda squats. Find a comfortable stance, more of an athletic stance, not a micromanaged yoga stance. Take your hips back, bend your knees, bring your belly towards your thighs, and stand back up. Again, come down and stand. So do this a few times for self-assessment. Notice if you put more weight to the right or more to the left, or if your descent or your ascent has more speed. And can you control that motion with healthy tension? So you want to have balanced strength and balanced tension. Now add your breath work. So as you squat down, there's a tendency here to inhale or to exhale, and when we rise up, we inhale. We pull our breath into our chest, which creates tension upward. So squat up and down and notice for yourself what your own personal tendency is. Okay. And stand up and just take a break. So what happens when we breathe? When we inhale, our diaphragm moves down, more mass fills our lungs, fills our body, so we actually become heavier. When we exhale, that mass lightens, our diaphragm moves back to neutral, and we become lighter. So when we're picking up something heavier, when we're jumping, we want to actually exhale on the ascent, on the jump, so that when we're jumping up, we're lighter. And you can try this just with a basic jump. So exhale out all your breath, and inhale, jump, and land. And then inhale here, and exhale, jump. And notice which one for you gives you a little more lightness. You can probably even see in the video, on the exhale, I can create more height. So we'll add that here. Basic squats again. Find your non-micromanaged stance, maybe even take it a little wider. On your inhale, squat down, round. On your exhale, rise and stabilize. Inhale, squat. Exhale, stand. Inhale, squat. Exhale, stand. Now take your Danda behind your back. Press the base of your skull, your ribs, and your sacrum into your Danda. Shift your chest forward and squat, then stand up. So neither back bending or rounding. Oftentimes when we come down, we put all the force and load in our back, or that place where we're hypermobile. So keep pressing your back against the Danda, and squat to stand. Squat to stand. Inhale and exhale. One more time, breathe in and stand up. Release and come on out. So you want to maintain your healthy squat alignment, that basis of your ascent, your descent, your breath control, and then neutral spinal motion. Now take your Danda onto the earth. And so we'll practice just some basic deadlifts that also enhances our breath work. Squat down, and inhale, stand up. Exhale, down. Inhale, stand. Exhale, down. Now if this weighed 100 pounds and I inhale, pull it up, that's where it's really going to be detrimental to my back or to my spine, because on that inhalation I tighten and I make my body heavier. So again, when you're lifting something heavy up off the ground, you want to balance those loads and forces through your inner strength, through your breath work. So come down into your deadlift, knees mildly bent, push your legs apart, engage your hamstrings. Inhale in neutral, neck neutral. From your leg power, from your glute power, exhale, stand up. Inhale down, strong legs, power up through your glutes and hamstrings. Exhale, stand. Inhale, squat. Well, it's more of a deadlift. You don't want to squat down and stand up. So you're actually working the hamstrings at their length and range. To make this heavier or to progress this, you could drape a blanket over your Danda and make that a little bit heavier. Or if you actually have a deadlift bar, you could practice that here. Do 5 more. Down on your inhale, up on your exhale. Down on your inhale, up on your exhale. And last one. And rest. Okay. Now we'll work with the foot mechanics, especially when we go to jump. One of the most common misalignments is the way that our feet hit the ground. Oftentimes we see a heel strike landing, or we roll to the outer, the inner edges of our foot, which can then cause a referral or a pain pattern up through the knees and even into your low back. Take your Danda in your right hand, step your left foot forward and your right leg back. Use your Danda as that reaction force. So again, equal and opposite action. So the more that I push down, the more action I get up into my core. So if I'm just leaning into this, that's not those ground reaction forces being balanced. So I'm gonna push down to create the core stability. Lean forward, inhale. As you exhale, push into your back leg, lift your front foot up. Do that a few times just to observe your own tendency. Are you landing on your heel first? Are you landing on your outer foot, your inner foot? And start to build the skill here of going toe heel. Toe heel. Inhales to come forward. Exhales to pull up and stabilize. Land toe heel, nice and light. Up and down. So you have that controlled motion through your ascent and your descent. Last 3, 2, on 1, float, hover. Use your Danda again to push down, stabilize, lift, and release. Switch sides. Danda in your left hand, right leg forward, rocking lunges. Again, push down, drive that energy up back into your core. So it's like a circuit. The more you push, the more stable your core becomes. Again, assess. Every leg is different. I mean, we only have 2, but both of them are different. Especially being bipedal. There's no way that our foot strike or our heel strike is going to be exactly the same from leg to leg. So just observe the tendency as its own tendency on this side. Build the skill now, toe heel. Lift and press from every single toe. And now add your breath. Come forward, inhale. Exhale, lift. Keep stabilizing by pushing down through your Danda and rising up through your trunk. Last 3, 2, on 1, hover, stabilize, lift, and land light. Shake it out. Okay, legs are warm. Grab your 2 blocks. Be mindful of how you squat down. That's part of your practice as well, moving your props around. And place your 2 blocks with a negative space. I'm going to do 2 different angles so you can see. This is called scales. So the negative space will ask my arch to stabilize and strengthen more. Stand on your blocks with your left foot. Place your Danda in your right hand. From this position, take a squat. So you'll have an uneven, unbalanced squat. Stand back up and squat. So if you were taking plyometric jumps, how would your foot land? Are you rolling out into your knee? Are you falling down into your knee? What's happening with your ankle? So imagine this was a jump where you're flying up into the air and landing. Take that about 5 more times. 2 and 1. Switch sides. Again, every side is different. Hips back. Remember the feeling of having the Danda behind your back, so your squat is neutral and stable. Rise and squat. Watch your toe heel. Is your knee dropping in or falling out? And imagine you are flying up, and from the rising, use your Danda to remind your body that when you do jump off the ground, that your trunk is stable. 3, 2, and 1. Come on down and rest. I'm going to turn the angle here. Set up your blocks and stand on your blocks with your left foot. Watch me first. So I'm going to work to create the scales drill here. Stand on your left foot, right leg as your base. Lift the right side of your pelvis up and lower your leg down, lean to the left. Press your right leg up, lean to the right. Lower your right leg down, lean to the left. So the scale happens right now in your pelvis. You're working your SI joint. You're working your pelvis like you would have a scale of money, balancing that. Go up and down. Keep going like that. Rise up through your hip and your pelvis. Drop down and lean away. Balancing the scales here. And this is a regression of the scale when you're in a forward bend. Working to find the articulation of your pelvis and your joint. Again, those reaction forces of the up and the down and the balance there. Switch sides. Right foot as your base. Lift the left side of your pelvis up. Left knee down, lean away. So we forget that our pelvis also moves. Those joints move laterally. So it's not just extension and flexion. But to do healthy jumping or healthy loading, we want to have motion in all the parts of our joints. A couple more rounds here. And come to neutral. Place your Danda down on the ground well. Grab your other 2 blocks or your bench, whatever you have. Make negative space again for your foot. Place your 2 blocks in front of you and stand on your block with your right foot. Extend your spine so you have neutral spine, neutral neck. You may even need to give yourself a little bit more height, which I like, so I stack my 2 blocks and turn my hands out. Now this is similar to the deadlift and the upright scales. You're working to strengthen your hamstrings at your length and range, as well as strengthen your SI joint, which doesn't get a lot of lateral strength. So press down with your hands, and here's where the scales happen. The more you push through your right foot, your left leg lifts. As your left leg goes down, your right leg straightens. So push down and lift, your right knee. Keep your spine neutral, lift your left leg, and lower. So what's happening here, if you can see from the side, is that your pelvis is doing that same side to side shift. So you actually do want your left leg and the left side of your pelvis to come higher than your right when you come up. I do find a little bit of mild flexion when my leg comes up in my back. And you don't have to do this with full extension because there's not a lot of range you can get. So as you come down, that's where your spine can take extension. As you come up, take mild flexion. Leg down, extend. Leg up, remember that's your exhale, pull in. Lower your leg, inhale. Pull up, exhale. And I'm sure you can already feel your hamstrings and your glutes strengthening at their length and range. This is a drill that I created for healing old hamstring tears. Switch sides. We get a lot of hamstring tears in yoga, especially from the swan dive, where those upper attachments are getting hyper exposed. So again, lengthening that range. Second side, left leg on the block. Come up to your half lift, extend your spine. Push down through your left leg, find that balance, equal and opposite reaction. And back down. You think of an old pirate scale, where when you put money on one side, the other side drops and lifts. And you want to find the balance of those old coins right in the middle. We don't use those kind of scales as much now, everything's digital. But visualize that in your mind. So if the left side was filled with money and you put more money in it, the right side would lift. Lower back down, extend your spine. Pull, round, flex, exhale. Lower, slow, inhale. Exhale, pull. Really press down almost as if you could smash the blocks under your left foot. Pull. And push. Push and pull. Last 3. Two. And 1. Come back to neutral. Step down. Take a forward bend. Feel the difference from leg to leg now, just being more in a passive fold, and how your legs can support that kind of a stretch. Bend your knees, come on up, and shake it out. So all of these drills are going to start to help you, inform you to start to get towards a jumping action. So from your rocking lunges to the scales, practicing your ability now just to jump. So practice that here, taking it light, and of course you can use your Danda as a regression, or you can practice this as a progression. Neutral neck, neutral spine, inhale breath, exhale rise. Try that again, squat down, inhale. With your exhale, as if you had your Danda, push down, rise up, and land light. Keep going, do about 5 more of those, and when you rise up, pulling into your trunk, pulling in to stabilize, landing light, absorbing your load. Okay, and then rest. Good, shake it out. And we'll go from squat dog to double hop to plyometric hop. Okay, so I'll show you from the side, and then we'll go together a little bit quicker. Watch me here, plank pose. Press back into your squat dog. Pull both of your feet forward with a toe heel action. Pull, toe heel. From here, inhale. Exhale, rise. Hands down, hop back. Breathe in. Exhale, pull forward, pause, inhale. Exhale, hop. So now do that on your own at your own pace. Place your hands, start in plank pose, squat back, hop forward, jump up, Hands down, hop back, pull forward. Remember to breathe. Again, every time that you're rising up off the ground, keep going. You're working with your exhalation to build that heat and that energy, that every exhalation is your up. Every inhalation is your down. And then it starts to become a little bit quicker. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice work. That deserves a drink. Take a pause, take a drink. Grab your Danda. Place your Danda under your right hamstrings. Come on back. Pull your Danda into your chest and lift your leg. Re-bend your knee and straighten your leg. Bend your right knee and lift your left leg up. Lower your left leg and straighten your right. Lift your left leg, bend your right knee. Do that a few times, so the only thing that's actually moving is your left leg up and down and your right knee from bent to straight. Now the next time your left leg comes down, let it pull you up to a Navasana. Re-bend your right knee, round your spine and roll back. Keep going like that, come up. So this is similar to your plyometric skills, controlling your descent and controlling your ascent. Equal and opposite actions. So that as much as you pull, you push. As much as you push, you pull. Go for 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way back. Swivel your Danda behind your left hamstrings. That's a tricky move there. And repeat. Left leg bent, right leg down. Do that a few times. Again, as much as you pull, you push. As much as you push, pull. Re-bend your left leg, right leg comes up. Rock yourself up. Slowly lower back down, round your spine to do that. So if you're crashing to the ground and falling back, that's going to give you an indicator of where your tendencies are. And you may have to slowly, slowly, slowly lower down. 5 more rounds. Or you repeat the first step. Try not to do this from your neck or your upper traps. Keep the action coming from your core. The next time you're back, stay back. Swivel, switch, rise. Come on back. Swivel, switch, rise. Come on back. Keep going like that. This is much as a drill for your brain as it is for your core. We don't want our brain to get stagnant. Come all the way back. Move your Danda to the side and draw your knees side to side. Keep going like that. Draw your knees side to side. Breathe into your pelvis, into your waist. And come back to neutral. Take your feet directly underneath your knees. Lift your pelvis up into a bridge position. Take your arms out by your sides. And slowly lower down from your upper back through to your middle back and all the way down to your pelvis. And one more time, pelvis up. Slowly lower down from your upper back to your middle back, and lastly down to your pelvis for a neutral spine. Grab your one block. We'll do 3 rounds of block bridge. Place your block right at the base of your heart. Pause. As your hips go back, take your head back. Keep your hips and your pelvis up. Your arms can be here, your arms can be by your sides, whatever feels comfortable. Roll side to side, and then lift your pelvis up. Slowly lower your pelvis down. So we're working just to create a tension stretch. So we're not trying to go all the way down to the point that my head has to come back and I can't breathe. So again, it's hips up, head back. Don't worry about getting your pelvis all the way to the ground. Just create resistance in your stretch. Hips up, press your back into the block, and slowly traction your pelvis down. One more time, inhale up. And exhale, traction, traction, traction down. As your pelvis comes down, let your head come up. So what we're not trying to do is just hang back over the block. It's more like a pin and stretch. Now that you have that, you can lie on your back. Straighten your legs, or if you'd like to come to kneeling, you can come to kneeling. Feel the difference of having space in your back, your ribs. Allow your mind to drop down into your heart to soften into your breath. And now the movement, those reaction forces are internal. As much as you inhale, allowing the exhalation to soften. Finding balance or same ratio through your breath there. And then start to let that to slow. Any quote control or managing of your breathing, let that just begin to wane. And place your hands somewhere on your body where you'd like to create attention, blessing, remembrance. May we be grateful for our bodies, for the places in which they're strong and capable, the places where we are able to move. May we shift our attention and our focus to our ability to find lightness in our step, spring in our step, and also to know that there is a ground underneath us to catch us. That there is a space underneath to hold us up. And so know here that you are held. May you be blessed in your resting here.